Daily Horoscope, the 6th of December 2016. Daily Horoscope for Aries. Ruling planets, Mars, Pluto. You need to show that you're more interested in your partner if you happen to be in a relationship now. It's easy to let the day-to-day affairs distract you, and this could create a cooling off that will affect in your most intimate affairs. Spend some time communicating important issues to the one you love so that you can improve your relationship rather than it fading out as most do. You're distracted from work by other issues including social events or domestic expectations. This should end up being more of a social sort of day, but you mustn't cut corners where professional responsibilities demand even extra focus on your part now, as this will impact on your outcomes. You need to activate a friendship by making a call to someone. If you're waiting for them, you could be waiting a long time. Daily Horoscope for Taurus. Ruling planets, Venus. A little perseverance brings good fortune, but great perseverance brings misfortune. So, says the I Ching. Are you struggling with some aspect of your life? You may need to learn the lesson of when to cut your losses. This may at first appear embarrassing, as if you are going to be seen as a loser, but you will result in a state of relief for you later. You may have to deal with criticism regarding the way you handle your obligations and domestic responsibilities. Your loyalties can be divided between your children and spouse, one or the other getting more of your attention today. Before you can spend time with your own independent pursuits, you may be tied down to fulfilling your duties at home. Focusing on the home will give you a sense of well-being. Others may appreciate the time that you give them now, especially if you've been avoiding them for a while. Horoscope for Gemini. Ruling planets, Mercury. You may start to sweat some of the smaller stuff in your life today, especially finances, but remember, a successful person usually doesn't whine or worry too much about little things. Keep your mind on the bigger picture even if you've hit a snag just now. A friendship might leave a bad taste in your mouth but will resurface later for a shot at revival. How will you deal with that? You need to lay the ground rules before getting involved so you don't have to subject yourself to complicated decision-making later. Daily Horoscope for Cancer. Ruling planets, Moon. If you are tired of the residence you currently live in, why not make changes and move? Even if finances do not permit it yet, keep dreaming. There may be tension with others because you are not speaking your mind about something they have done to you. This will be upsetting unless you lay your cards on the table. Success sometimes becomes a form of imprisonment, and perhaps you need to do the great Houdini act and escape for a while. But that may require a magic trick of sorts, especially with the responsibilities that you've taken on now. You could feel as if you've been deserted by people, and this comes down to the issue of trust and faithfulness. This doesn't necessarily relate to love affairs only, but generally with people whom you've helped in the past who seem to have conspicuously and conveniently disappeared just when you need them. Daily Horoscope for Leo. Ruling planets, Sun. Attending to unfinished emotional business from the past may be tedious but essential now. You need to let go of past hurts and memories. You must improvise today to get the best results out of life. But you must also put aside bigotry, and any sort of bias, to gain the most out of your opportunities. You need to reassess your domestic relationships during this cycle of your life. Get closer to your family and loved ones even if it's been out to do so in the past. If you've been avoiding them, they may judge you harshly, and that will perpetuate the problem. Even though you're open to helping people, you may become a sacrificial lamb in the process, so don't allow others to step all over you. There may be some strong feeling of gratitude or appreciation which has triggered your understanding that no matter how difficult things are, you are after all pretty well off and much better than most. Daily horoscope for Virgo. Ruling planets, Mercury. Unconventional attitudes prevail now, and this will actually help you in your search for new friends and acquaintances. Dealing with intellectual inferiority creates too much tension. Accept that some people's minds are far less complex than others, and now while you are delving deeply into psychological issues, this will be more pronounced. Extra effort is needed to achieve your professional ambitions, but don't overwork yourself to the point of exhaustion. Discussions center around constructing a new paradigm for your life, especially on the domestic front. This may mean physically constructing or renovating the space in which you live, or at least planning for a whole new makeover. And speaking of makeovers, you may also want to try something different in the way you present yourself. Daily horoscope for Libra. Ruling planets, Venus. How can you improve yourself if you don't copy the example of others who have been successful before you? You have to be willing to act on the advice of others, even if at the time it sounds a little far-fetched and you don't necessarily have the confidence in yourself to think that big. Success is a science, and you need to study this if you're going to attain the heights you've previously only dreamed of. Let's make these dreams a reality and get you studying how successful people actually get there. That's the first step. Then you can start applying this practically to your own life with a plan. A family member may display a lack of emotional control with regard to their habits, desires, and objectives. The way they are communicating may even be somewhat offensive to you. Daily horoscope for Scorpio. Ruling planets, Pluto, Mars. Excessive worry over some additional responsibilities is not going to solve any problems. With pen and paper in hand, write down these problems, the pros and cons, and systematically work through rationally what has to be done to resolve the issues. In some ways, you may be sweeping these problems under a rug, and that is why you're worrying. Tackle the issues head-on and get appropriate advice if necessary. Your life may seem a little disorganized now, and if that's the case, you can't very well offer assistance to others until you sort this out. This is simply a bump in the road but needs addressing. Escape could seem like an option today, but leaving a dirty backyard behind you simply means coming back and having to clean it up at some time in future. If you have a multitude of problems, you need to prioritize those ones of prime importance first and then work down your list with a realistic timeline. Daily horoscope for Sagittarius. Ruling planets, Jupiter, Neptune. Explosions on the home front are the result of pent-up energies and emotions, and not clearly articulating your displeasure over the past few weeks or months. Letting things build up over time is a recipe for arguments and actions that can't easily be undone. It's imperative that you talk about what it is you are unhappy about, even if it causes some minor problems in the interim. It's far better to have these small problems now than larger ones at a later date. You have a need to be with others and to share your talents with those of like mind. During this cycle, you can receive appreciation for what you're doing, and this will bolster your self-confidence considerably. Because of this, why not take the time to spruce up your CV, connect with others through whichever way you network best, and even accept new interviews even if you're not looking for a new job. At least you'll have an understanding of how you can improve yourself and in what areas. Daily horoscope for Capricorn. Ruling planets, Saturn, Uranus. You may not be able to go on that dream holiday immediately, but if you hard for that trip or vacation, it will become a reality. Of course, this means additional sacrifices on your part. You may have to work overtime during this cycle, and this is a delicate balance as you may have overcommitted to others in your personal life. Additional responsibilities in your relationship can make this a difficult few days. A romantic meeting may not be completely fulfilling on a physical or sexual level, but by the same token may not be too stressful either. Enjoy a cup of coffee or lunch arrangement today and don't expect more out of it than what it is. Daily horoscope for Aquarius. Ruling planets: Uranus, Saturn. Be careful today because people may try to use you to bolster their own security. They could put you down, and this is their way of lifting themselves up. Don't react to such things. A hazy assessment of someone at the outset could present problems for you down the track. Don't be lazy in studying people a little more carefully. A false sense of security may have caused you to settle into a cozy sort of professional environment and attitude, and shortly you may find that this will be severely shaken up. Preparedness is your key word today, as there are elements in the industry you work in that may be out of your view. You need to expand your understanding of what's going on in the industry, get up to date with the rules, regulations and other changes that are taking place. Technology is moving forward at an ever-increasing rate and could leave you behind if you're not on top of this. Daily horoscope for Pisces. Ruling planets: Neptune, Jupiter. Holding on to a bleak past is no medicine for a promising future. Oh no, it's time you gave yourself a gentle push towards fixing up the areas that haven't been working for you. Maybe start with your residential setup, then take a good look at where you're heading 9/5, and follow up with a re-evaluation of your love life. Sometimes it's difficult not to complain or to focus on the tribulations you have in business or with coworkers, but you mustn't make this a habit, as this sets the stage for a dynamic universal return of karma. What you are thinking right now is a preview of the delayed occurrence, a mirroring of your visualization in time, in the future. Give your thoughts an upward turn and look at these difficult moments for what they are: an opportunity for growth and an insight into how to better perform under these same circumstances at a later time. All will work out well.